It is a situation that has moved beyond just a mere controversy and has now become a matter of national security urgency. The headline you are seeing everywhere, Tinubu orders arrest of Sheikh Gumi, is not just coming out of thin air, it is the result of a week of intense high-stakes drama that has placed the presidency in a very difficult position. We are looking at a scenario where the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is facing an ultimatum from major socio-cultural groups. Either arrest Sheikh Ahmad Gumi now or admit that some individuals are above the law. What triggered this latest firestorm? It wasn't just an ordinary comment. In this month of November 2025, Sheikh Gumi released a statement that many have described as the most dangerous narrative he has ever pushed. He did not just defend the bandits this time. He went a step further to delegitimize the suffering of thousands of victims in the Middle Belt. Gumi publicly claimed that the reports of genocide against Christians in the Middle Belt are fake. He alleged that these communities are burying empty coffins to create a charade and attract international sympathy. Let that sink in for a moment. In a year where we have seen fresh attacks in Plateau and Benue, for a prominent figure to come out and tell the world that the funerals are staged and the coffins are empty is a statement that cuts deep. It is this specific utterance that has broken the camel's back. The Yoruba Union and the Middle Belt Forum have immediately fired back, sending petitions to the federal government and even the United States, demanding that Gumi be interrogated. The argument is simple. If Gumi is so sure that the killings are fake, he must have intelligence that the government does not have. And if he claims the bandits are innocent of these specific crimes, he must know who the real perpetrators are. Now, let's look at how Gumi is making a case for the Fulani Herdsmen in this latest saga. His narrative is shifting. He is no longer just asking for amnesty. He is framing the herdsmen as victims of a proxy war. Following the recent threats by US President-elect Donald Trump to intervene in Nigeria over Christian persecution, a threat Trump described as going in guns a-blazing, Gumi jumped to the defense of the North. He warned President Tinubu not to be intimidated by the US. Gumi's argument is that the West does not care about religion. They only care about Nigeria's resources. He claims that the insurgency and the banditry are being fueled by external enemies to destabilize the North and steal oil and minerals. By spinning this narrative, Gumi is telling the herdsmen, you are not the terrorists, you are the resistance against foreign invasion. This is a powerful and dangerous psychological game that paints the perpetrators as heroes. The pressure on President Tinubu is mounting because the international community is now involved. With Trump's direct threats to the Nigerian government to stop the killing of Christians or face military consequences, Tinubu cannot afford to be seen as coddling a cleric who calls those killings fake. The diplomatic stakes are higher than ever in late 2025. The presidency knows that allowing Gumi to continue this rhetoric unchecked could be interpreted by the White House as state complicity. This is why the order for arrest is being discussed as a tangible reality in the corridors of Aso Rock. The security chiefs are reviewing his statements to see if they cross the line into treason. We also have to look at the isolation of Sheikh Gumi. Remember, earlier this year, in May 2025, the Saudi Arabian government took a step that shocked everyone. They barred Sheikh Gumi from entering the Holy Land for the Hajj. They deported him. If the custodians of the Islamic faith see him as a security risk or a person of questionable ideology, it makes it very hard for the Nigerian government to justify giving him freedom of movement to enter forests and negotiate with armed groups. The Saudi ban stripped away a layer of his religious diplomatic immunity, leaving him more vulnerable to Nigerian law than he has ever been. There is also a growing frustration with the double standard in our justice system. Critics are asking, if agitators like Nnamdi Kanu and Sunday Igboho could be pursued with such vigor, why is a man who openly admits to meeting with bandits and who describes their atrocities as a war for rights walking free? This inconsistency is what the Yoruba Union highlighted in their letter to the US government. They are asking the US to apply pressure on Abuja to treat Gumi exactly as they treat other separatists or agitators. This brings us to the critical question of what happens next. If President Tinubu executes this order and arrests Gumi, there is a fear of backlash from his followers in the north. But if he does not, he risks losing the trust of the Middle Belt and the South, and he risks a diplomatic fallout with the United States under the new Trump administration. It is a delicate balance, but the president's body language in postponing his own travels suggests that domestic security is now his number one priority. He's clearing his desk to deal with the rot at home, and Gumi's file is right on top of that stack. If you are finding this analysis helpful and you want to stay updated as we track every move from the State House and the Department of State Services, please make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. Turning on the notification bell ensures you don't miss the update when the final decision is made. We are committed to bringing you the truth without the noise. We also need to talk about the human element of Gumi's recent actions. By calling the victims' coffins empty, he is engaging in psychological warfare against grieving families. This is no longer just politics, it is about basic human decency. The Middle Belt groups have stated that this insult is unforgivable and that it essentially encourages the bandits to kill more, since their crimes are being denied by a national figure. It emboldens the aggressor when you tell them that the world believes their victims are faking it. The Tinubu to arrest headline represents the collective will of a frustrated nation. The government has been claiming victories against terrorists. We have seen the arrest of top commanders in Kwara and the rescue of schoolgirls in Kebbi. But as long as the ideological backing for these crimes remains active on the streets, the war will never truly end. Gumi has positioned himself as the ideological shield for these groups, and the government is finally realizing that you cannot fight the fire while someone else is pouring fuel on it. As we wrap up this report, the situation remains fluid. The presidency is consulting, the security agencies are on high alert, and Sheikh Gumi remains defiant, insisting he is the only one who can bring peace. But with the empty coffin statement, he may have finally crossed a line that no amount of negotiation can fix. What do you think? Is it time for the state to step in? Or would arresting him cause more chaos? Let us know in the comments.